This is an Israeli-American co-production, and I think you can feel it. It has a lot of the advantages of the Israeli way of doing things, and some of the traditions of the American system, but we're not completely enjoying either one of them either. Working with American actors like the ones on screen is a fantasy. I mean, aside for how good they are, there's something about writing characters that feel so close to me, or as if they're almost my personal secrets in their nuances, and then having actors like Richard Gere, Michael Sheen, Steve Buscemi become those people and hopefully communicate it to an audience that is broader than my own. So that's really fantastic. And I had to, almost every day on set, I had to pinch myself. Not only seeing them come to work and doing what the script says, but just seeing them do it so well, and linking into something that, from my point of view, was really magical. How I think each one of these characters really touched something that is very accurate. The persona that we have, or the movie persona that Richard Gere has created over the years, is very different than what we see here. And part of the challenge here, or the fun, was to go against Richard's basic instincts almost in every action that he does. So there's something that Richard speaks about that he brought to this conversation, and I only became aware of it because of my conversations with him. He noticed that Norman never gets angry, or he can't afford to get angry. He's humiliated, he's offended, or he's spoken to in a way that would offend other people, but he can never afford to express that to the person who just hurt him. The question here is why. And the answer is he's standing on ground that is so shaky. He has so little to rely on in what he offers to whoever it is that he's pursuing, that he can't afford to ever expect anything in return. And anger in a way comes out of a pride, and you think you deserve something. Norman never assumes that he deserves anything, and that's when you think about it, it's really sad, and it's extremely hard for someone like Richard Gere to get into that, and seeing him do that was remarkable, because sometimes an actor takes on these physical challenges, or they gain weight, or they do something that requires a skill that took a lot of training. Here, you're asking a movie star to really be something that is almost the opposite of what being a movie star is. And I really admire him for his ability to do that.
Can you talk to us a little bit about what it was like working with Charlotte Gainsbourg?
Yeah, when we shot the train scene on the last day of our shoot, and as soon as I saw Charlotte and Richard in the same frame, I was upset that we don't have more scenes with them together. She's really so photogenic in the sense that you really want to know what's behind those eyes and those expressions. There's something very nice that happens between Alex and Norman, or Richard and Charlotte. They're the exact opposite. Norman doesn't tell the truth ever, and it's a way of someone who is only lying. You don't really know anything about him, and there's no intimacy with that person. Alex is someone who can never lie. She can only tell the truth exactly as it is. She feels this moral obligation to put everything on the table in a transparent way, and Charlotte brings this with her in her personality. It's not just that's who she is. The first meeting between Richard and Charlotte at a restaurant in Soho was exactly that. Was Charlotte not being able to conceal anything, and the result is putting Richard in a new state of mind, because there's absolutely no fakery with her, and it's fantastic to work with an actor like that.
The ending was a little bit ambiguous. Did you intend that he really brought about those things?
One of the frustrating things about being near Norman or being close to Norman is you never know what's real. And it's really frustrating because he himself believes the things that he's promising in a complete way. And if I'm going to be loyal to the Normanist that's on screen, then I will never answer that question.